A question from Istanbul. Since we have wisdom, is revelation necessary for the human being to reach the true path?
Okay. First of all, let me thank you for the Turkish song in which you trained our Urdu class girls and boys. It's a very deep and profound song. Who made this song? Which Turkish poet did this?
His name is Yunus Emre.
Huh?
Yunus Emre.
Oh, Yunus I know, yes.
I like
He's a
him.
great poet.
Yes.
I love Yunus. He's not only a mystic, but he is also a realist.
Yes.
He does not lose himself in mysticism alone. He goes to the depth of the matter. A very wise man he is.
Yes.
I think he is, if Turkish people don't object to that, he is the greatest Turkish poet that ever was. Do you agree?
Yes, yes, absolutely.
That poem was so profound.
Thank you. Just saying.
Thank you so much for that. Huh? Please. Question? You asked question?
Can I translate the question?
Now to the question, this is a very profound question which has been agitating the minds of religious people and secular scholars as well. The secular scholars believe that they have been given a system of light which lies within them. Human mind, its faculties, human heart, human experience of the past, which goes on sharpening that faculty of judging right from wrong. This all adds up into a mind which can see what is right and what is wrong. Where is the room for heavenly light? That is their question. But when you go through all that they have said, their internal differences appear so strong and so unaccommodating that if the internal light was sufficient for itself, why should people with internal light differ with each other? And they disagree so strongly that all the history of European philosophy stand witness to this. The internal light is not enough. Philosophers and wise people of the same age, they differ with each other. And they fumble for something they always miss. That is one point which reveals to us which reveals to us the hollowness of this claim. It can never be proved that light, human light in itself is sufficient to reach the truth. Now I turn to the great sages of the East. I do not have to name them, otherwise it will become a long list. There are many sages who believe that by delving deep into their own system, they have reached the light. But again, they have suggested systems which differ with each other. So what source of light did they touch? Why is not the answer the same? So in the name of inspiration, not revelation, the light within, they have again given birth to different religions and different ways and means of reaching the truth, which counter each other. So no dependability at all. But again, one thing which they forget is that internal light is like the faculty of sight. If there is no external light, the faculty of sight will not be lit. This is the true answer to the reason for to the need for revelation, which is given by the Holy Quran. The Holy Quran says, La tudrikuhu al-abswaru wa huwa yudrikul absar. La tudrikuhu al-abswaru wa huwa yudrikul absar wa huwa al-latiful khabir. قد جاءكم بصائر من ربكم فمن أبصر فلنفسه ومن عمي فعليها. Okay. ومن عمي فعليها وما أنتم وما أنا عليكم بحفيظ. Now it's a beautiful example given to mankind that although you are internally lit with great faculties, but all your faculties have a counterpart which lies beyond you. And that counterpart is created by God to enlighten you within through every faculty which He has created. The faculties themselves cannot reach anything. Eyes are an example given by Allah. The eyes can see, but if there is no light from heaven, they cannot see. What they can see perfectly matches with the heavenly light. It is as if an engineer has created both the heavenly light and the faculty of sight. And if they did not agree with each other perfectly, man still could not see. So rationality is of course important, but rationality without these five senses which receive their operative faculties, which receive their operativeness from Allah, which depend for their operation on things which lie beyond, which are not of their creation, but they match with them perfectly. Look at the hearing. If I start describing you how the air works, it will be astounding. Absolutely no ordinary person who does not have a knowledge of science and who knows how the air drum is made itself and how it works and how everything which it receives from outside is turned into symbols of pulses. And there is a counterpart behind in the brain which deciphers those symbols. The sound does not strike directly that thing. Then he would realize the claim of this verse, that human faculties cannot reach Allah. It is Allah who reaches them. So if in this physical world we have this system, why should this system not be extended to the spiritual world which is created by Allah? There the rationality will have to play another role of knowing God and coming into contact with Him. When rationality comes into contact with God, then there has to be a response. By itself it cannot reach, like the eyes. And that light is Siraj Munira. Now we can turn to it as the Hazrat Muhammad Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, who was the Siraj Munira, who made us see with his light what our faculties were already ready to receive. So if you read Surah Nur and all the messages written therein, of which I have spoken many times before, I have given many sermons on those verses. I don't want to repeat them, but your question is all connected with that. So I hope this should be sufficient for the person who asked this question and for other viewers as well. Again, you should remember that the light we see with our eyes, it may not be seen by the eyes of other animals. The light which they see with their eyes, we may not see that. This is how God has created differences between animals and humans in many ways. The sound we hear, we think is so simple and easy, our ears can hear a sound. But there are sounds which can only be heard by dogs. For you, there is absolutely quiet and calm. But the dogs who need those sounds, Allah has provided them with that. Similarly, there are birds who need some sounds which human ears just cannot hear. It's impossible. But they require them, and Allah knows that what they require, so their ears are created exactly to receive the sounds, and their minds are created just to decipher those sounds. So the whole world is strange. We don't know. We are just a small spectrum and talk big against God. We're just nothing. It is He, whenever He decides to reach you, He would reach you. Otherwise you cannot reach anything.